Alright, welcome back to Daybreak Aviation. Today we're going to be changing out this nose gear door. As you can tell, when we did the gear raise and lower, the initial one, we had a big old piece of Bondo pop out right here. And so we have a replacement thanks to BAS. And so we're going to take this one off and put the new one on and then do a gear swing and make sure everything works out good. And on here, there's only 4 screws that hold this door on. 4 screws with nuts.
Oh well, not letting me. Yay! There we go.
There's our problem piece right there.
Yeah.
And then also, I didn't notice this, but see how it's been ripped. So it had a pretty good little collision with something.
Might have, I don't know. Yay!
Those are not people that just randomly showed up. Those are friends, family, highly trusted people that were there. That takes a little bit of the sexiness out, but that's the same way as when Donald Trump is on the stage. The people right in front of him are supposed to do that. They've been given access. They have a wristband or a lanyard. They're wanded. They're checked. They're fully trusted.
The chains back there are tops, by the way.
They're usually high-level donors. So they're also very trusted.
I got about an inch and a half.
You get that.
Then once you get beyond that, there's 1,000 Secret Service agents.
Go up a little more.
So you have to delegate to law enforcement officers, local law enforcement officers, SWAT, just regular beat cops.
Y'all should have counted the pumps that you did.
Well, see, the jacks might be unequal a little bit, so the best thing to do is to look and see where the tire is. You notice this tire came off the ground first, and so I had to get a little caught up over here to equal it out. And so now our space, both of them is about the same.
Absolutely, which is where this attacker was. Would have been identified.
And then you get
and there would be several criteria that they would say this is alpha position, this is bravo position, whatever. They would go through them so that they can quickly address the situation. Now they would also, in this advanced plan, they would have local law enforcement guarding those areas to make sure no one would gain access to those areas. And they would be in contact with Secret Service.
This cylinder failed.
Now,
this collar
there's
here will
multiple
hold it.
different questions here that need to be asked.
Around it.
As you said, in full transparency. Knowing this entire complex.
Alright, now that we've got it jacked, you have your counterweight here which holds nose up. And then we're going to put this here just to make sure that if we load the tail too much, that it won't tilt down and cause damage. It'll actually hit this part first. So, and we'll put a couple of pieces of padding and all that underneath it. So,
any kind of angle that screen communication. I don't believe that at all. In this groove, this loud
coming?
Well, we just don't know. We don't
He
know
coming?
anything about him. We don't. You know, it smells of the
He coming?
Nashville shooter. Now,
He
it's still
coming?
early, but
Alright,
if they
you're
don't
good.
come out with the
going?
full detail on this guy,
Keep going.
they're going to use all
Yeah, more.
And
More. More.
I want you to answer some of those questions.
More.
First, let me
More.
take a car shield. Trying to
going.
make it to the breakdown lane in the middle of
going.
traffic, not the best time to suddenly realize that
What?
you have no coverage for whatever it is that just started smoking under your hood. The check engine light that came on a few weeks ago should have been a pretty good indicator.
Alright, your nose gear door didn't close.
Close all the way.
Go slit
It's going to
down.
be pretty expensive. For almost 2 decades.
What, Tom?
1,000 parts, from engine, transmission to
Alright, gear up.
electronics, all of it. It's 800-227-6100.carshield.com/carshield.
Alright, something's going on with your gear doors. Come down.
Just by doing their job. Questions.
Go on up with it. Alright, stop right there. Alright, John, come here and look at this.
So what Tim did is he just took that little edge and rounded it back a little bit further and hopes that that will clear now.
Good to me. Come down with it.
Fast down, slow down.
It don't matter, fast is fine. Now go fast up. Your doors look fine on the bottom.
we're going to go through here and test all of our spark plugs. Make sure they're sparking, make sure all the gaps are correct in them. You know, we're still having a little bit of a mag drop issue on the Baron. And so we're starting simple and working our way up to, you know, more expensive and time consuming things. So we have two little wires here, 0.015 and 0.019. Basically, this wire has to pass through. This wire has to go through it. And then this wire, the 0.19 is not supposed to be able to go through it. So as you can tell, we can go through it there and here. So we're going to close up the gap a little bit. And we've got this fancy little thing here that will screw this in. Alright, so then we'll come in here and we'll use this little, and we'll push that back down a little bit, and then we'll get our gauge again and test it out. Alright, so now we're testing our plugs. Hook your electrical connector up into there, and then it has a little mirror right here, and you'll be able to see the bottom of the plug right in here, and then you can see it lighting up. And as you can tell, it is sparking on both sides pretty good, so that's a good plug. So we did all the plugs over there and they all tested pretty good. I mean, we had at least one side firing, and so we regapped the ones that needed to be regapped, and now all of them are firing like they're supposed to. I mean, that's not our issue. Just have it burn a little bit better, more efficient. The next thing we're going to do is test all of our wires, our spark plug wires. I'm also pretty sure that all these are good, because all the cylinders were hot, but we had one cylinder, this cylinder, that was kind of cooler than all the other ones.
One on the other side
and so we checked our plugs. Now we're going to check the wires. Basically, this box hooks up to the battery and then hooks to a ground, and then you just hook the cable onto the end of the plug wire, and then when you mash the button on it lights up and makes a buzzing noise, and that means that wire is good. So far all of our wires over here are good, and so like I said, I'm pretty sure that this is not our problem. But just to cover our bases, make sure we check all the boxes before we move on to the expensive stuff. We're gonna look at all of the quick and easy, cheap stuff. Yeah. So, yep. So all the plug wires, as expected, tested good. So now
to the expensive stuff.
We'll put all this back in, and then we'll start diving into the magnetos, and then the fuel control solenoid back in the back. That could be our problem too. So. So today we're back on the Baron, and we're going to be putting in this little bolt here. Now the problem with this little bolt here is that it is the carry-through bolt that goes from here to here, there. And for some reason it broke. See it sliding? And so we don't really know why it broke. And so to get to it, we've got to take the oil cooler off and then be able to slide the old bolt out and see why it broke, whether it's corrosion or if it was over torqued. There's just a whole number of things, but this is what it will look like when we get it out. So now we're about to take that off. And then also I had to send off one of the mags and have it overhauled. So we got that to do. The right engine, we finally got it checked out and put different mags on it. I've got to send both those mags off and have those overhauled. So $1,200 to $1,500 a pop, you know, nothing but a thing, right? This airplane is going to be expensive. So anyways, that's what we're doing now, getting all this done. So some assembly required, or disassembly. There it is. All right. There's the oil cooler, and that's what the oil cooler looks like on the inside. Oil goes in one side, comes out the other. So 96.3 WGSV. All right. There's all that. Now, now that we're gonna have to take. So this is the back plate here for the oil cooler, and we'll have to take it off, and it'll bolt in here, 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 probably here, and here. So we'll have to take off this old gasket here. Get this old gasket out of the way. It's no good anymore. And then take out these bolts, and this should come off, which will then allow us to get to this bolt here. And that bolt will just slide out, and then we'll have to actually get this nut off on this side to get it to push through. So that's what we're going to do now. Alright, there's our flange. There's that, and then these are all carry through bolts. Fun stuff. Well, and time for the big reveal. Well, I say that. Well, let's just take this off and then grab it with a pair of pliers and see what's going on with it there. And we'll have to keep that because we'll have to have it, because I'm sure that's like an extra $45, you know, for a nut and a washer. Huh. That's it. Now we got to get the other side out. We got to actually take this nut off and then somehow push that through. So that's going to be fun. All right. So I was just talking to Mark about this bolt, and as you can tell how much rust is on it, it's pretty evident that this thing has been rusted out and broken for a while. So this engine only has like 270 hours on it running. So it was either missed at overhaul, and they just put the bolt back in and didn't like magnaflux it and check it, or they over torqued it when they put it in and broke it. So I mean, there's just a whole lot of different things. But one good thing is it's not a new brake, so it's not a new problem. It's an old problem. still got to be fixed. You can tell if it was a clean brake or like a new brake, it would have been, all this would have been shiny, kind of like this edge here. And the reason that is shiny is because that's where the other O-ring goes, like that right there. So you can tell that's where the other O-ring is here. And so now what we have to do is go in here, and we're gonna have to try to get the other O-ring out, which I can see. I don't think you can see it, but the O-ring is actually in front of the other end. And so I'm gonna go in with either some safety wire or maybe my grabbers, and if it'll fit, and then see if I can't grab that O-ring out. And of course, you know, my grabber doesn't fit, so. Alright, looks like there's our O-ring on the other end, so we don't have to contend with that now, of it getting in there and like rolling and then binding up the actual other end of the bolt. So now we can just go in here and take this part loose. Oh, look at it, it's turning. That's good. Do this. I need two hands. Alright. There's that. Now it's time to see if we can use this hose. It's too big. Haha, that worked. Hand lubed it up too. And then there's the other one. Now I gotta look for this O-ring too. I gotta look for that. Yeah. There you go. That's that on that one. In case you're wanting to see what the inside looks like. I think we was missing an O-ring on that thing too. Alright, now we're gonna put the, so basically what it is, I took some LPS and put in there to prevent any future corrosion, kind of give it a good coat, and then made sure there's no O-rings. So I took a bore scope through there and kind of looked, made sure everything was good. Put another O-ring on this one. We were actually missing an O-ring on the other one, so this O-ring was not there. So now we have the proper O-rings. There's no O-ring down here for whatever reason. So now we're gonna put it in and tighten it down. Alright, I got the bolt partially put through there. Basically what I had to do, we had to go through two O-rings on this end because it kept cutting them. I used the old O-ring and then tapped it through and put a lot of lubrication on it. And so now we're going to put this nut back on it, and then you can't see that, there it is. And I had to tap it through with a little mallet. And then now we'll have to look up the torque specs. And so what I'm looking at here is there's only 2 threads showing there. And there's 3 or 4 showing here. So really, this one needs to be 1, 2, 3. And there's 1, 2, 3, and there's the 4th one. And so that looks about right as far as what it was earlier. All right, and so see how that is hitting right here? That's why we want to test fit it. So we know that that's got to go in more. It's got to go that way. And tap that in further. And then we test fit this. So we'll take that out. Alright, so now until that's up tight and we have a gap there, which is what we need. And so that'll be where that's got to stay. Then we'll just tighten up this side over here. Alright, we got our bolt installed, and now we're going to torque it down to 690 to 700 inch-pounds. I've got it set at 700 inch-pounds. All right. That's that on that. And then when you get done with the torque wrench, always reset it to 0. Don't leave it up at whatever you had it at. So always go back to its lowest setting, which is on this one is 200.
Those search warrants include the family home where a tent has been set up in the backyard. The chief saying the husband has not been cooperative despite reporting his wife missing weeks ago. So far, no sign of her. Derek Dennis, ABC News. In Australia, a passenger was arrested.
Alright, well, I got the oil cooler back on. Everything's torqued down. Everything's supposed to be, you know, like it is supposed to be. And then I go to mount this part on and then realize that I forgot to put this piece on, which this piece goes in there. And so you're like way up in there, which means I gotta take it off and do it again. And this is third time taking it off because I put it on the time before this and the gasket that they supplied, one of the holes was off, of course, and so you couldn't push the screw through the gasket because it's pretty thick gasket. So now taking it off again. Hey, at least I'm getting good at it, right? Alright, well that's it for today. We managed to get our oil cooler back on and the carry-through bolt all nice and snug and tightened up. And then got a new alternator belt put back on it. The other one was, well, really old and starting to come apart. And so went ahead and changed that out because it wasn't going to last much longer. And then we'll change out the other one later, and still got a lot more stuff to do on this thing. Got a little goodie in here that costs about 1,500 bucks. That'll go here and make sparks and, you know, convert all that money into noise kind of deal. So got to put all their plug wires back in, and then hopefully we can do our engine runs and everything will be good, and we can get it back to Gadsden and you know, start the cosmetic stuff and actually start flying this thing, because right now we haven't done a whole lot of flying. So anyways, that's what's to come. That's what we've done. Make sure you like, comment, and hit that daggone bell and subscribe button, all that fun stuff, you know. Need some more subscribers and stuff. And then before long, hopefully we'll be posting some videos of us flying this daggum thing. instead of just working on it. Now obviously there's a lot more work's got to come to it, but we can fly and work on it at the same time. So should be posting a video before long about the 182 and kind of what we've done with it, getting all the avionics kind of more up to date than what they were. It's not like the latest and greatest, but it'll have a GPS in it, so, and 4Com, intercom and all that. So anyways, yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Shouldn't be too long. We'll have another video out. Thanks.